All right, something Kirby Smart talked about not so long ago was that you don't defend a title. So Georgia coming off its first national championship in 41 years is way too long. I don't think we're going to wait another 41 years to see another championship for Georgia. But coming into 2022, um, Georgia certainly is the defending national champion, but it's not the same team. The teams they're playing are not the same. And we talk about this in sports a lot, talking about repeats, three-peats. But the truth is that each year the teams are different. Certainly that's the case in college football. And to be frank, we've not seen back-to-back national championships won by the same program since Alabama did it in 11 and 12 and tried to do it again in 13. So it's not a common thing. Um, and Georgia's path this fall will be different than the one that it had a season ago. This is going to be a team that's not as heavily senior packed as last year's. This team will come in with 10 seniors or super seniors, 19 juniors, though, on scholarship. That's a lot of guys. So that would be nearly 30 of your players um, on your team. So more than a third of your scholarship guys are upperclassmen. That's still a lot, but it's not, for instance, Jordan Davis, Devontae, a lot of the older guys are gone from a season ago. But there are 29 upperclassmen and 30 true freshmen. So this is a team that's got some extremes about it as it relates to the roster. It's balanced on the scholarship chart. It's very balanced, generally speaking. Four quarterbacks on scholarship, five. Well, this is again now. This is my scholarship number. This is certainly not what it will be when Georgia kicks off because my number is over 85. But anyhow, four scholarship quarterbacks, five running backs on scholarship, 11 wide receivers, six tight ends, 19. Did I say 11 wide receivers, six tight ends, 19 offensive linemen, 15 defensive linemen, 12 linebackers, and 15 guys in the secondary with three specialty players. So some of those guys that I mentioned, or some of those positions that I mentioned, those scholarships are not part of the 85, or those people are not on scholarship. Like, for instance, I do not know if Jared Zirkle is on scholarship, but I include him because he could be. Stetson Bennett, I have him in my number as well, but he does not count against the 85 because this is a COVID year for him. So it's going to take us about a half a decade to get away from the COVID year thing. But anyhow, this is a different team than a season ago. Now, when I pick up DAWGSTRUCTION and I look at the cover, literally every single player from Georgia on this cover is coming back. Nolan, that's William Poole, that poor soul right there. I don't know how many times you guys have watched the replay of Keeley returning that play. I've actually not watched that game all the way through yet. That's Dan Jackson, who about died on this play. And of course, Keeley, he will be back. Kirby Smart will be back. It's our 80-page recap, commemorative edition of the inside story of the Georgia Bulldogs 2021 National Championship. And as you can see, it's got stuff you're just not going to get anywhere else. Speaking of which, we've got our 2022 preview, which has become very popular now that people are getting it in their hands. You can pick this up for free. You get this for free when you order DAWGSTRUCTION. It just comes in the mailer. So get this now while you can. I'm shipping them out. I'm getting a little bit low on DAWGSTRUCTIONs. So in order to make sure you get this in a timely fashion, get on it. I got media days coming up pretty quick too. So I would say now is the time to order so I can get these out with very few distractions. It's tougher for me to get these out when I've got more work to do. This is kind of an interesting part of the season preview too, talking about significant passing plays for the Dogs. Obviously, go through Brock Bowers' 89-yard reception for a touchdown. Ladd McConkey's against Auburn. A.D. Mitchell's against Alabama. Brock Bowers screen for a touchdown for 77 yards against the Jackets. Arian Smith's 35-yarder that Stetson put on a dime against Mizzou, and then another great throw from Stetson, this time to Kyrus Jackson against the Gators. So it's just a quick blurb about each of those plays, why they mattered, yada, yada. Anyway, this team is going to be a different team. Now, I think every single guy I mentioned just there, Bowers, McConkey, Mitchell, Bowers, Smith, and Jackson, yes, they are all back. So a lot of this team is back, but it will be a new season, a new challenge, really a new fight. I mean, you're starting a season in back-to-back years with significant challenges. A year ago, Georgia really manhandled Clemson, certainly on the offensive side of the ball, allowing a field goal. And that win was that game was a big, big deal coming into the season. I think there's less concern. Well, certainly there's less concern about Georgia's game with Oregon coming into the season. Let's keep in mind, and it was odd to me. I think I said this during all of these a season ago. I know we record more now, but that Georgia was the dog to Clemson in that game didn't seem right to me. I mean, I thought it was possible that. Well, what we didn't know was DJ was as bad as Georgia's defense made him to be, but um, that game was, one of college football's biggest games coming into the season. Although it delivered in terms of viewership, it really didn't live up to the high. I mean, Clemson just wasn't great last year. So, that win for Georgia was a big deal because it was a top 5 win at the time, and they had several top 5 wins this past season. But the Oregon game, I don't think it's viewed the same way. I mean, Georgia was whatever they were, 3-4 point dog against Clemson, but they're like a 16, 17 point favorite over Oregon. That's a pretty big divide in the grand scheme of things. So this team is not, it doesn't seem like this Georgia team will be facing down a do or die moment. Don't worry, it is one. But, I think for Georgia, the game being basically at home in Atlanta, um, it's not quite the same. Now, the league has changed too. Dan Mullen is gone. Tennessee looks better than they did, but it appears that Kentucky will be a real challenge for Georgia on the eastern side of things. The Dogs don't play Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, but they do play Auburn. And Auburn doesn't look like it did coming into a season ago where they had fired Gus, brought in this new guy, which it's clear it's not working. So he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of his hat to get this thing going as well. But this Georgia team is going to be graded on if it gets to the playoff or not, number one, and if it wins the national championship. And that's just what it is anymore. I mean, when you are, I don't know if Clemson right now after a season ago, really, I know a lot of Clemson people, they really did not feel like they were going to win the national championship last year. The people I know did, and the sensible ones did not feel that way. Uh, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, those 3 teams are coming into this thing with an eye on the prize. No, Georgia probably should not win the national championship in 22. They should have won it last year. This coming year, it should probably be Alabama. Honestly, Georgia probably should have won the national championship in 12. Excuse me, in 17 and possibly in 12. But I would say in 17, yeah, they let that one get away. Can they steal one now? Somewhere along the way? We don't know. We'll see. But No, you don't defend the title. That's the wrong mentality to begin with. But Kirby's right. You don't defend the title. Georgia's got to go get the title in 2022.